So folks, we're going to ask you to use your imagination for a moment. We have a nice fire going here, okay? So we're going to sit down and have a fireside chat. So just to introduce myself, Martin Rogan's my name, and we'll work our way around. Richie, would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Richard Burns. I'm a youth justice worker with Fireside.
Patrick?
My name is Patrick O'Brien, and
Patrick, you've been participating on the program.
my name is Patrick O'Brien, and 18, and I'm from Abbeyfield.
Okay. And I'm going to introduce your grandfather here, Mike, who became Patrick's grandfather over the course of the program. Mike.
My name is Mike O'Connell. I'm a farmer, part-time farmer, in County Limerick.
Excellent. So, Richie, you don't sound like you have a farming accent. Where are you from originally? Tell us.
So I suppose originally I'm from the northeast of England, a city called Sunderland.
Right.
And I worked my way over here almost 20 years ago now, I think it was.
Via Australia.
Via Australia it was, yeah. So I spent 5 years over in Australia. And found myself down in Limerick for my sins.
Right. Patrick, you'd recommend Limerick as a good place to live, isn't it?
Yeah, spot on.
Yeah. And where are you from yourself?
I'm originally from Abbeyfield.
Right. Okay. And did you grow up on a farm, or did you?
No, I was at Mike's farm. Was actually the first farm I was ever on.
Right. And were you curious about farms, or what attracted you to farms?
I suppose the animals.
The animals.
The animals, yeah.
Right.
Like everybody gets over the animals, you know, like, and they're lovely creatures. And like, if especially like you're going to be alone, like, yeah, well, the animals the best place to go.
Right.
So,
And over what? Cows, chicken, pigs?
well, horses mostly.
Horses.
For me, or sheep.
Yeah. And you can have a special relationship with animals, all right? There's no
Oh
doubt.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially Mike.
Yeah. Well, this is a different type of animal, so. Mike, tell us about that. How did you get into farming, by the way?
Well, I was raised on a small farm in a place called Mungret, between the villages of Mungret and Clorina. My father didn't work full-time on the farm, but I had an unbelievable love for it, which probably I got from my mum because she was at home, working at home. And I always loved it, but as a teenager or as a maybe 21 or 2-year-old, I always believed that the small farm had something to offer, and it just hurt me to hear people say small farms are gone. And I know social farming is not about small farms; any farm can do it. But I believe the small farms have a big place in Ireland, both rural and city today.
It's a good way to live.
It's an unbelievable way to live, and I came from a different world. I was in what you would call the crazy world of retail. I set up my own business in 1986 and ran it right up until last year, which my son runs it now. So I work part-time for him, but it was 32 years of, I suppose, for anyone that worked for themselves would know, 32 years of hell, and probably in the worst recession of all times in this country. But it's great to be out at the other side of it, and social farming has taught me an awful lot. Not to mind the participants, but I have learned so much from social farming.
And Patrick, when you heard you were going to go out onto a farm first, what first came to your mind? What did you expect?
I didn't really know anything about a farm, you know. Like I thought that I wasn't going to be welcome or not that, but it turned out to be I was welcome. And when I went down to the farm, like I didn't actually know what to do, only from Mike. Mike taught me a lot of things I would never knew, you know. And I was with my friends, and we had to laugh, like we had a water fight. And sometimes they
And there was a couple of lads. There was 3 or 4 of you working on the farm together?
Yeah, there was me, there was Eddie, there was Jake and Dean. Right. And it was we all worked as a team, you know. And when we came out, we were prouder because we did it for we did actually for the people who could never do it, for Mike. Yes. like, as you look at him, he's getting old. So where take over?
I think I've lost this one,
Who's keeping score here? And what was an average day like? So you start off about 9:30, 9 o'clock in the morning?
So we go in, so we might have a cup of tea in the lab. And then when we start off, like say, I feed the sheep first, then I'll go down to the horses, Barney as like my horse, and then I would take for a walk, and I would come and then I would say feed the pigs, sometimes even on a frame them, but then I would paint say the fences and all that. Like. So there's actually more things actually to do in a farm.
So loads of different things going on. And
oh yeah. And it's actually like working in a farm is actually, like I'm actually working actually in a course, and when I like every Monday, like when I was up say about 7:30, because I couldn't wait to go to the farm. But we work like I feel so lazy, because I know what I'm doing. So like if anyone had to do the farm again, like, well, it's actually like they're going the right way about it.
And it's real work.
Oh yeah. Like you learn a lot of things about it. So.
And you learn a lot about farmers and yourself and other people and the animals. Like there's just lots of learning going on there.
Oh yeah, a lot. Yeah. Was it like, I didn't even know that if a sheep's turned over for so long, turned over for, I didn't even know like they could die. Until might tell me.
Right.
Like he taught me a lot of things I wouldn't even know.
That you never find out otherwise.
Yeah.
Right.
So I suppose only for him, you could say, because his daughter also helped us.
Right.
And his daughter they went through it. I said she did better than me, but I said, but if I was anyone, I would actually do that. Work in a job like, and actually more help for themselves either, like, because they're either learning something themselves. So
it's great. And Richie, you've worked with lots of young people different ways. Sometimes doing courses.
Yeah.
You were saying earlier, sometimes doing therapy. Does that?
Yeah, I suppose.
This isn't therapy.
In our line of work, we look at new innovative ways to work with young people. And a few years back, we had engaged in equine-assisted therapy, which, don't get me wrong, was great and it was very good. But I found social farming just that bit more natural. There wasn't someone behind analysing everything. It was just out there in the fields, in the barns, developing skills.
And when you heard about it first, were you saying, will this work for my guys? Or
yes,
was it a good match?
I'd heard of social farming, generally around the intellectual disability and that kind of area, and thought it was a really good program and wanted to know how I could use it in my line of work. I did my own kind of bit of research on Google, as you do, and looked at Europe, where they'd worked with adult offenders, addiction in those kind of areas, and I just thought, well, if they can apply it there, maybe I can apply it to the youth sector in a more, I suppose, preventative manner. There's certainly a model that we could use, and I was delighted to get on board, and the fact that the research is being done can back up to the work that we're doing, because everything we look at needs to have outcomes focused on it. We can't just go off doing things willy-nilly that we decide to do.
Nice idea, but
so it's a really good program, and I was delighted that we could get involved in it. Yeah.
Great. And Mike, from your point of view as a farmer, what was the appeal? You can say, were you just looking for, let's do some work, get some fences fixed?
I always believed that, I live 5 miles from the city. I watch a place called Raheen, and if anybody that knows Raheen is a very built-up area, 30,000 people. People that have come from farms all over, they came to the city for work in factories or in schools or whatever. And I always believe, I genuinely, as a teenager, just feel, God, do they miss that part of it, So I believe that there could be a connection there. It's about giving back something also to the community, and I believe everyone deserves a chance in life, and a lot of stuff. I worked with with a non-for-profit group in Limerick, and we went to England on a tour to see different stuff, and I called to Care Farm, and I knew that day that this was what my farm could do. And I have to say, with Patrick and the other three lads, it was an amazing experience. They were four great lads. They were four amazing lads. And I'll tell you, Patrick might have learnt about sheep turning over in the field, but I learnt more about discus in Killarney on a Saturday night. I absolutely did. But, you know...
Have you brought him with you, Patrick?
But, you know, for the farmer, it's about, I think Teresa Peacock, I think mentioned it, that it's, you know, the labels are left outside the gate, and that's the success to social farming, in my opinion. And it's very important. You treat people with respect, and you get respect back. And, you know, there was just one lad in our group, Patrick, and when he came, Richie said to me, he said, Mike, this guy will not sit at the table and have his lunch, but just leave him alone. Mm-hmm. So that guy sat at the table for his lunch on the first day. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the 10 weeks, he would sit down and have a full-scale conversation with me about different problems in his whole life, you know, and he really came out of himself. And I think that was an amazing success, you know, and again, everybody needs a chance.
And it's getting that chance, and it's a real chance. You know? Patrick, you were there one day a week. Would you like to do more than one day a week?
I suppose, like, if I had an option, I would stay on a farm. You know, because I love working on the farm.
You loved it?
Yeah, I loved it. Like, I actually did not want to leave it.
I know. It's a nice sunny spring day today. Was it wet? Was it cold? Were there days you thought, oh, I don't want to do this?
Was it? No.
No? You loved it?
Loved it.
So you're a farmer in the making?
So. Like, if I had my way, well, like, I would just focus on the animals, and then I would focus on my friends. Yeah. And if I had to thank anyone, it would be Richie, Nicole, and Mike for what they did for me. Like, otherwise, like, I would know nothing about this. And it was Richie actually asked me about it. First, like, I didn't know what it was, you know. But then I said, I'll give it a shot. Yeah. The first week, it was a bit scary, you know. Second week, I gotta get into it. The third week,
more scary.
Can I just come in there? We had an open day on the farm on the last day, and I suppose what we planned with the lads on the first day was that they would help me to make the farm safe for people that were probably less fortunate and didn't have as many abilities as we have. But so we planned that, and we did that. We made the farm safe and clean and tidy. But we had an open day on the farm, and all the different agencies were invited. Patrick did MC for the day for about 80 people, and he was absolutely brilliant. And you know, he's a natural. This guy, absolutely. You know, he's a natural. You know, and he's well done, I would say.
It just shows the confidence that he has gained through doing this kind of a program, though. You know, I suppose I'd be comfortable saying that you wouldn't have done this, even sitting here today, you wouldn't have done this a year ago, would you? No. You know, and confidence is something that you did gain throughout the program on Mike's farm.
That's where I actually got my confidence from. Yeah. When I actually did empty, because like if I did it in front of 60, 80 people, like if I did it in front of that many, like surely I could do it in front of many more. Yeah. You know.
No bother to you.
In fairness, you didn't hesitate when I asked you, did you want to come and do this today? I got.
Yeah, but I think you bribed him by going to Dundrum Shopping Centre.
Yeah.
Patrick, would you recommend this now to your buddies, to other lads?
Why would you?
Yeah.
Why would you? Yeah. because they're like, so what's to do otherwise, you know, you know, in the town I live, where like there's not much there for us to do, you know. So like if you get an opportunity like that, well, like you're gonna make it, and you're gonna make it happen for you.
Yeah.
You know, like you could go, you could see things, you could do things, and was that you get on with other people, you meet new people, you know. Like like you sit down, have tea and toast, like you go out and you do your work, right? Then you draw Mike water or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
It was the best of fun I've had.
The best of crack.
Yeah.
And I think these guys have learned a lot from you. I think, Richie, what have you learned most?
I suppose what they're able to achieve. You know, sometimes you can underestimate ability, you know, and if you can put them in the right situation where you can kind of nurture them and I suppose let them gain the confidence to push themselves on. You know, I learn something new every day by working with the young people that I do, and it's a very fortunate position I find myself in. You know, I know I might think I know it all, but I learn something new every single day. I do.
Every day is a school day. And Mike?
I suppose, again, coming from a different background where I worked all my life, as I said earlier, in a crazy world, you know, these 4 lads that I had 4 different groups over the last 12 months, but my 4 lads from the youth group, I learned more. I learned about what life was, about listening to people, about giving, you know, just to sit and talk with them. And there's more to life than the rat race, you know. And I also learned that people, if anybody gets a chance, they'll prove it. And Patrick and his 3 buddies really proved to me, you know, and you'd have different people in your locality saying, "Oh, why are you doing this? Why are you?" But it was probably the best experience I ever had in my life about what you can get out of people, what you can, you know, how they react to situations. And it was frightening for them coming into a strange farm, not knowing me or anybody else, my wife or my family. But it was just an amazing experience, you know, and I got an awful lot out of it. I got, you know, how to deal with people and how to, you know, how to respect people.
Yeah.
Okay. I think respect is a big thing. I know when we first came down to meet Mike, and I suppose bringing 4 young, I suppose, teenage lads down onto the farm coming from a guarded diversion project, it could be daunting. But when Mike first met the lads, it was just respect, openness, honesty from day one, and the lads really responded well to that and very positively to it. And I know we sat with them and we did your journals, and it's one thing that shone through is how they were treated from Mike and his wife, his daughter. You know, they were just treated as decent human beings, and they weren't judged or prejudged or anything like that.
I would say on the first day, if you remember, we were just there near the cattle crush discussing what we were going to do, and my wife was looking out the back window, and I know she was saying to herself, how's this guy going to talk to 4 young guys when he can't talk to his own 4 teenagers? But it worked out okay, you know, it worked out okay.
Patrick, you were telling me about the farmer's daughter. So is there any good news to report here? You got on like a house of fire.
I could finish your haircut afterwards.
So Patrick, what would you like to do next?
I would like to work on, say, if another project of a farm came up again, but I would love to go do it again and keep achieving my goals until I could reach my own. And hope to God someday I'll have a farm like Mike's. And hope to God someday people, like I would actually get people like Mike got us to come, right? And I could actually tell them from what Mike and everybody else taught me.
Pay it forward.
Yeah, and I like respect, give them respect.
Yeah, I think that seems to be the key word. Folks, we're going to wrap it there because I think we're going to have some coffee now shortly. But just to thank Richie and Patrick and Mike just for sharing that piece. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Martin.